Hello, everybody. I hope you are doing well. As you can probably tell, I might sound a little bit funny, and maybe a little bit lispy. I just got braces, um, as an adult, which isn't always the best, but I am trucking along and hopefully should have them off by Christmas, if I'm being good. So you get me with braces now. So I apologize if I sound lispy. I literally just got them a week ago. So I'm still trying to get used to them. Anyways, I hope you all are doing great. Today's lesson, we're going to talk about elements of a story, and to be more specific, the storytelling arc, because it's going to help you understand where different elements of a story go and how they kind of all work together and how all stories really kind of fall in line. Yeah, so let's get started. First, you are going to see this when it pops up. Hold on, my computer is being a tad slow, so I apologize. So this is the storytelling arc. You may have heard of it also as Freytag's pyramid. You have exposition, rising action, climax, falling action, resolution. They also call it, there's a storytelling arc, storytelling pyramid, or just Freytag's pyramid. And if you've never heard of this before, this is how elements of a story really work together. It goes in this arc. Now, there's lots of different elements to the story, and we've kind of covered, characterization, which goes into first person, second person, your setting, your author, the narrator, which we've talked about a narrator a little bit. So let's kind of dig in and kind of talk about where these different elements of a story that you may have already heard of fall into place within a story, and it kind of helps you better with layout of the story, if that makes sense. Okay. So don't worry about this notes thing. Okay, so first we have the exposition. And the exposition is really just the start of it all. This is where setting, characters, and the protagonist, the protagonist is the main person, or aka the hero, comes into play. We're getting to know the character, the different settings, where is everything placed, how the different characters come into mind, whether those be main characters or not. This is where everything kind of plays. This is where the stage is set. Now, part of also the exposition right before we get on this rise is that the conflict is introduced. Okay? Something has to happen, or else that would kind of be a boring story, don't you think? We have to have a conflict somewhere right at the setting, because it has to be our catalyst to drive us upward to get somewhere. Because if we were just talking about everybody's ordinary life, that'd be kind of boring. Even in the most ridiculous circumstances, there always has to be a bit of drama, right? Or conflict. Okay. So something's changed in our protagonist's life. So something to the main character is going to happen. It's going to set them in motion. Like I said, it's got to be the catalyst. It's got to be some sort of drama here. This could be a good thing or a bad thing, but it's definitely something other than ordinary life. It could be romance, adventure, or drama. The boy spots the girl, pirate finds a treasure map, or the daughter is kidnapped. It's something that's changing. It's out of the ordinary. It's this catalyst. It's this huge boomerang thing that's going to launch this protagonist, this character, into effect. Or maybe this is even when the antagonist or the bad guy is introduced, or does something that makes the protagonist really mad. Next, we have rising action. And you see we kind of skipped 3 because this is just the casual buildup, the casual tension building. Not even casual, it can be pretty dramatic. It's this tension building, which leads us to the rising action. It's all the steps / adventure that the protagonist faces on his or her journey to the story's climax. Now you'll understand how all of these events take place within rising action when you understand what climax is. Okay, each step leads to the next one and teaches the protagonist something important he or she will need to know. It's all of these learning experiences, if that makes sense. It's all these different adventures, it's all these different steps that's going to rise. It's literally bringing us to the climax, to finally reach the story's climactic moment. Now, the climax. This is also called the turning point. This is the moment we've been waiting for. The conflict must be faced, and hopefully the protagonist will triumph. Romance, the boy kisses the girl in the rain, or the adventure, the pirate finds the gold, or drama, the kidnapped daughter is rescued. Something happens. Sorry, it's kind of lagging just a little bit, and I apologize. Something happens at the climax. It's kind of like the OMG moment, or I'm so excited that happened, or you've got to be kidding me. Did that really just happen? It's going to be the big moment, or the big turning point of the story. It's the very top of the pyramid because that is the most heightened moment within a story. It's the most heightened place to that protagonist, to that character. Of course, if they're kissing in the rain, it has to be kissing in the rain if it's romance. Am I right, ladies? Next, we have falling action. And if you're probably thinking like, yeah, things are going to start winding down here. Loose ends are tied up, supporting characters and side issues are resolved here. Everything has to come to an end because it can't just be these mini climactic moments. Now, this kind of leads me to this next point, is sometimes these pyramids won't look just like one way. It won't just be like one climax story and then that's it. Sometimes we have lots of like rising action, climax, then we're going to fall, and then we're going to go up again. It's every story is different. However, it is going to follow the same plot line or this pyramid or this story arc. Okay? And all of these elements within a story get put into this so that we can understand how everything is shaped. Which brings us to our resolution. They also call it denouement, which is French for resolution or the end. Life for the protagonist finds a new way, a new normal, because it can't be the same as once it was. Okay, they always have to come. They're always going to come out. They're always going to come out. They're always going to come out different. They're going to come out a new person because they didn't just take this journey for no reason. They didn't just have these climactic moments and everything building up to that climactic moment to just be the same again. Something is going to be different, but there's going to be a resolution to it all. And I just realized like how funky these headphones look. They're huge, but they cancel out noise, and I hope the sound quality is a bit better, so that's what I'm going for here. Anyways, back to the storytelling arc. So we have this resolution. Everything is tied up. Notice that this lifeline is at a higher level than when the story started. This reflects growth or change in the protagonist. It is likely that our protagonist is now wiser or in a better position than he or she was at the beginning of this tale. Like I said, this protagonist can't be the same, right? Like, let's just think of here for a second. think of any movie that you just watched recently. I'm trying to put this down so you guys can see my face. Okay. Oh, and it's going to go back and forth because I was clicking it all over again. Okay, now think of a movie that you just read. Think about the protagonist, the main person in the story. Now, are they the same person at the end? Think of Lord of the Rings. Think of, what do they call him? Frodo? Sorry, I'm not that big of a Lord of the Rings aficionado. Frodo, the little hobbit guy. He embarks on this journey, right? And he can't be that same guy that was just chilling in the Shire before. Heck no, so many things have happened to him. Or even let's just take this example, for instance, because I watched this movie to kind of relive my senior year in high school, because Twilight was super big when I was in high school, okay? You can laugh all you want. It is super cheesy, I admit it, but high school me was fangirling at that moment. Twilight, let's think about it. She's not the same person that she started with, right? Like, no, like she meets this vampire, this creepy vampire, because we'll admit that he's creepy. And she wants to be like him. Her world cannot be the same. But the Twilight story does follow the story arc. It does follow this new and it has the exposition, rising action, climax, falling action, resolution. Something has to happen. However, if you're also thinking about these movies, yes, they are trilogies or multiple movies. They become these huge franchises. That's also because there's multiple books too. Let's not forget about the books. They're the best anyways. This resolution could also lead to a new exposition, a new story arc for these people to fall on. And that's what makes stories so great. But it also is important for us to understand this story arc, because all these story elements go into it. And really, this is like the major thing to a story, or everything within the story, because it all fits in here. And it helps us understand the stories better, especially if we're able to plot them out. Okay, what really led this person to this big, huge moment? Okay, like let's think about Through the Tunnel that you've read, or any poem I'd like to share, like that my favorite poem, The Road Less Traveled By. It's this journey, like it's gonna bring him somewhere new. Okay, everything follows this. And that's why it's so important to understand it. Because if you can lay out a story in this, you can actually go back and think of, okay, what really motivated this character to do this towards the end, or to be what they are in the end? You could go back and look at everything within the rising action to be like, okay, this is really what this character learned through this experience. Or, you know what? There's a lot of character development, a lot of characterization going on that changed this character, that helped develop this character because of the experiences that they went through. And if you're able to plot these out, guess what you're going to do? You're going to find the answer more quickly. Hold on, I'm trying to bring up the window. See, like I said, it's sometimes called denouement. I got ahead of myself. I'd always do that. The author will give us a bit of the after story. This is a bit of extra information. It's also sometimes called an epilogue, which normally for us story lovers out there and storybook nerds, we get a little bit of information. And sometimes we get the next chapter of the next series. Okay, but this is the storytelling arc. There's so much that happens. Everything is leading up to this climactic moment. Everything is leading up to this character within a story to change. Now, if we're thinking about all of the elements that go within a story, a lot of the times it's going to be brought up here in the exposition. All the setting, all the characters being explained, all the groundwork being laid out. What is important to know, however, is the events that happen with the story, because those are really what make up a story. And what is happening within that story, within this development, is going to help us understand the characters better and the story better, so that we can then analyze everything better. if this all makes sense. So what I want you to take from this lesson is I want you to be able to plot the next story you read. Sorry about that. I want you to be able to plot the next story you read into the storytelling arc and then answer your questions and your lessons through this, because you're going to be able to find the answers more quickly because because you're going to understand the story better. You're going to understand everything that goes into the story better because you're able to plot it out, and it's easier to go back and find it and really to show the growth and the development of the story or the different characters, if that makes sense. That is why I think it's so important for everybody to understand the storytelling arc, because it's going to help you dig a little deeper and understand what you're reading better. Okay, that was a lot of me rambling on. Again, sorry if I'm lisping. Sorry for the huge headset. I guess you're just going to have to get used to it. Okay, the keyword for this lesson is climax. Okay, the story element, the top dog, the main event, the turning point, the OMG moment. Climax, that is the keyword for this week's lesson. Please do not forget to obviously watch this video. Hopefully you're watching this video if you're hearing me talking. That sounds really silly. After you watch this video, fill out the Google form. When you answer that, I can see when you've answered it, and then I can go check on your answers from the Google form and give you points back into Odysseyware. I am available on Thursday from 1:15 to 2:15 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Those are my office hours. If you need me, call me, text me, email me, comment on the YouTube video, and I'll be here to answer your questions. Kind of sounds like Kim Possible. Call me, beat me if you want to reach me. Pretty much the same thing. Again, keyword is climax, and I hope you guys have a fantastic day. And if you need anything, let me know. And I hope this storytelling arc helps you understand stories better and for you just to kind of just get to know everything better. I'm trying to close out our video. But I hope you have a great day. Also, quick thing, make sure you are using spell check within your lessons. Big pet peeve of mine. We're in an online school. You have that wonderful opportunity of having a computer use spell check. There's a great thing if you're using Google Chrome called Grammarly. I think that might help you guys a lot. Check it out. And yeah, so just do that. I do deduct points off of that, just so you guys know. Again, keyword is climax. And I hope you guys have a great day. Again, I'm trying to exit out, but my computer is being really slow. Office hours 1:15 to 2:15 on Thursdays. If it'll let me close out. Just ignore this awkward part.